FPUC, it's become a big battleground on this channel and across the course, as Joe Biden had promised throughout the campaign trail for FPUC Retro back to July, $600 a week. Yesterday during his press conference, he did not use the word retro, but he also didn't say when the FPUC is running for. He also didn't say $600, he said $400. So how much FPUC will you be getting under the third stimulus package? We don't know yet, and we don't know where it runs or what months it's going to be running to, but we do know it goes until December of this year. If you stay on FPUC for the entire year of 2020, that's a lot of FPUC. So how do you get it? In this throwback video, I go over FPUC, UI, and PUA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with me on this overnight special of unemployment. Exciting news and new indication today that $600 from the federal government, FPUC for unemployment and PUA, will get extended. Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. Our third of 4 second stimulus package updates this afternoon. Really exciting news as members of Congress met and had questions for 2 key individuals today. They were the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, and Steve Mnuchin, head of the Treasury. The topic that came up repeatedly was that $600 from the federal government, FPUC, which expires in late July. In fact, it was the topic of discussion by the news analysts after the hearing was conducted. What really became the topic du jour was a repeating of what this channel has been saying the last 2 days. But they categorize or use the catchphrase of a financial cliff. Basically, there's an inherent concern now from both parties that there's too many things coming due in such a finite period of time, and that all of them, not just one, needs to be extended. This video is about the $600 from the federal government. If you don't recall, here we go. Under the CARES Act, adopted in March, the federal government will provide $600 per week on top of your normal UI, unemployment, or PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance, checks. So if you're getting 130 or 169 or 189 base benefits from your state, the federal government throws $600 on top of that for every week that you're impacted by COVID-19 from March to late July. But what happens in late July? It goes away. And that was really a big tipping point by everyone today, whether it was Mnuchin or Powell or the congressman or the analysts from the network covering the hearing. They all understood that factor. They all understood the unemployment numbers are not good. And I will freely admit that in watching that hearing, certain things and attitudes and angling was clearly coming to the surface. Powell and Mnuchin kept on trying to say that everything is doing so great and wonderful and the economy is just bonkers and fast and on fast track, when other people on another side of the political spectrum were saying, no, it's not. We are not out of the woods yet. Stop patting yourself on the back. Ultimately, no one in their right mind thought that unemployment benefits or PUA benefits are so unnecessary come a few weeks from now. That was no matter how much they patted themselves on the back as to how they did CARES 1, they ultimately said that CARES 2 is needed. In fact, what I detailed earlier in this channel was that there was basically a choosing of words. That Steve Mnuchin, whenever asked about the HEROES Act, which came from the House, written by Democrats, he would not refer to it as the HEROES Act. He referred to as what we're going to do going forward as CARES 2. Ultimately, the topic and the conclusion was the following: that a second stimulus package will include an extension of unemployment benefits. So what will that extension include? Here you go. There is likely to be 3 items extended under CARES 2, if you're Steve Mnuchin. A bill which will likely be adopted on August 8th and will be debated ad nauseum from late July to August 8th when members of Congress are back in session. 3 items. First, FPUC. That's $600 from the federal government, which goes on top of UI and PUA. It's expiring in late July. Second, FPEUC, if I'm saying it right. The number of weeks that UI benefits are extended, the CARES Act allowed for additional weeks of unemployment benefits. Finally, PUA. PUA may be extended as well. It has a lot of weeks to it, PUA, 33. I think it's 33 weeks, but that is likely to be extended as well. Powell said the following: output and employment remain far below the pre-pandemic levels. The path forward of the economy is extraordinarily uncertain and will depend in large part to our success in containing the virus. A full recovery is unlikely until people are confident that it's safe to re-engage in a broad spectrum of activities. The path forward will also depend on the policy actions taken at all levels of government to provide for relief and support of the recovery as long as needed. Many businesses are opening their doors, hiring is picking up, and spending is increasing. We've entered an important new phase and have done so sooner than expected, but this bounce back in economic activity is welcome. It also presents new challenges, noticeably keeping the virus intact. We closely monitor these developments and prepare to adjust our plans to appropriate support our goals. I will jump in here a bombshell, or a shocker, which is certainly not something that supports anyone's goals, is if you were sitting back and hoping that the time to file your tax return was going to be extended to later this year, which was certainly widely believed that was going to be the case, it's not. The Treasury announced today that it and the IRS are not changing the current extended deadline of July 15th. So July 15th remains the deadline for your 2019 tax returns. When asked if they would continue it later, with July 15th just a few days away, Steve Mnuchin says, it's something we may consider, but at the moment we're not doing it. Well, when are you going to consider it, Stevie? Meantime, New York is among the states that issued an extension of new lockdown orders. It's now not allowing travel into its state from 24 other states, including California. So where are we with this PUA and FPUC and all this hot mess? Well, you have this deadline kicking in just a few days that really falls around the time that members of Congress are in session. That $600 from the federal government, FPUC, expires around the time that they're in session. So can they get it approved in that finite period of time and not have you miss a week of it? Unlikely. This channel has been detailing that the vote on the extension of the second stimulus package will be around August 8th. By that calculation, you would miss a few days, you miss at least a week or two of the $600 second FPUC money. The question is whether it's going to be retroactive. Here are the 77 questions and comments you had to yesterday's mess regarding PUA and FPUC and UI. Before I get to them, I want to sadly start with this message. It comes from Cutie Pie, who is an OG of this channel from the very beginning. And she wrote this. Please have a seat as I read her comments. Hi, LALATE. My nephew hung himself from depression. He was not paid what he was approved for unemployment. What should his mom do? Get an attorney? He was owed 3 months back pay. It's so bad people are getting evicted. He lost everything he had, even his life. He gave up his fight at 37 years old. It's so heartbreaking, my only nephew. Thank you for any of the info. We've had another viewer who said his employees were considering suicide. He called me a few days ago as well to update me. It's just heartbreaking. Sadly, it's not the only story like this that this channel has detailed. I think we've had almost now 3 where either someone has committed suicide or contemplated suicide because of the lack of response from the federal government. Lightfall, I'm in Texas. I got approved when I applied, but the thing is I don't give it back retroactive from my date of employment. I qualified under PUA. I'm in Ohio, says Amy. I'm a PUA. I have 2 dependents. I get $325.9 for the start. Plus, I got the FPUC at the start as well. She says Ohio's doing a quite good job. So congratulations, Ohio. That's very good. So she's getting about $9.29 a week. Amy Perkins, congrats. Bernardo Gutierrez, I'm in California. I got escalated benefits. So he says in California they escalated the benefits on May 15th. So that's great because I had viewers, because we've been doing PUA for this since day one. And I had viewers always having problems getting that PUA, getting that escalated benefits. And he got it escalated on May 15th. So now he's getting $390 a week plus the $600. So he's getting $990 a week. Really great job. Murrian, I got escalated benefits in Wisconsin. Congrats. Amy, I just exhausted UI, but I received 13 weeks of extension for PEUC. I think I put an F in front of that. So I may go back to May 15th. Good. Amy, yes, got certified my weekly. My suggestion, read carefully, make sure you do everything right. Marion also got escalated in Wisconsin. Just Saying says Nevada is paying Just Saying his escalated benefits. So he's getting $181 plus $469 plus $600. Wonderful. Wow. Virgil Walker, do you know when they come back off vacation, will they add the weeks to the 26 weeks or will they add an extension also? Well, you have your base number of UI weeks. Then you have your extension of UI weeks under CARES Act 1. Then you have your state, which is all the extended additional weeks. So they can add extra weeks on top of that as well. Grace Lopez, can you talk about Uber and Lyft drivers? How about taxi drivers? Yes, I mean, taxi drivers, the same situation. So you are an independent contractor, as I believe. And so you would do PUA. You would go to your state the same way I did the Uber and Lyft video yesterday. Lewis, they only pay $68 a week in Illinois. Wow. How do I apply for retroactive benefits and give me the exact website, please? Well, you go to your state's unemployment website. So whatever state you are in, you go to your state's unemployment website. You need to state your date of impact. So if it was in March, you state that day of March, and that's how you get retroactive benefits back to that day. Dolores, I received my first stimulus package May 15th direct deposit. Congrats. What happened to our May and April retroactive checks? For PUA or UI, you absolutely should have gotten them by now. Did you certify for benefits for all those weeks? If you have, they should have come to you by now. Drop in the comments below, Rachel Benavides, and I'll try to answer tomorrow. Patrick Gordon, LA, can you make a video on what happens after unemployment benefits ends? I also want to know if I can apply for PUA after the normal benefits exhaust. So I answered this online, no. If you're a UI, you can't swap over to PUA. And I get that question all the time. If you're a UI, you can't swap over to PUA. It's not like it's not like a salad bar. After you have the soup, you can go have the salad. No, you can either have soup or salad. So and the way this salad bar works is you cannot have PUA if you already had UI. So you must be ineligible for UI. BTC cones. I've already done PUA in March. I'm very familiar with the PUA process. Look up your state and you'll see a lot of stuff. Good. Jamie Guerrero. Good information, but you talk too fast. I'm slowing it down today, so thank you for criticisms. I appreciate lots of criticism. No, I'm just kidding. Beishi Hayes. Need help doing unemployment. App was laid off. You need to go to state's unemployment website. Delois. I'm currently on PUA, and when I went to apply for regular unemployment before I received the PUA, the unemployment office told me I don't qualify. Correct. So you have to get a denial in some states before you get an denial for UI, before you get acceptance for PUA. Donald Ellis, $784 for 2 weeks in Kentucky. That's not $784. That's for 2 weeks. That must not be including the $600 from the federal government. Mark Williams, what happens if your employer doesn't go after hazard pay? I'm a garbage man. Yeah, that's today's hazard pay video. If they don't do it, you're screwed. But what I'm saying is, hey, it's just a draft of a bill. Contact your congressman right now and say, this is a mess. Don't allow this to happen. Ronnie Bama, no job or unemployment money will go to food and took rent for the last stimulus. Annette, this is good info. Terry, Pennsylvania, $5.18 a week. I get sent 2 years. You're a 1099 Lyft driver. I don't think you're going to get paid for 2 years. Everything's going to change as of July. But your claim may be approved for 2 years. Miriam Miller, Missouri escalated benefits. I get $320 plus $600. Congratulations. Cressy in Pennsylvania, I get $562 state and $600 federal government. Wow. So you get almost $1,100 a week. That's incredible in Pennsylvania. Paul Ryan, I should be eligible for PUA. I have not seen anything yet. I've been denied for UI because companies I work with are W-2. I did not make enough money to qualify for UI. Clancy, my base UI is only $85. Wow. So if you have questions to today's PUA, UI, and FPUC video, drop them in the comments below. Coming up later today, our final second stimulus check video, which is about the Main Street Lending Program. As always, safe LA from Omar.